Welcome back to Taiwan Outlook. Joining us today is Professor Michael Hsiao from National Taiwan University. Professor Hsiao, we've been talking about the healthy dialogue between the major parties in Taiwan. But as you know that when it comes to very sensitive issues like party assets, then these two major parties, DPP and the KMT, just could not have rational policy debates. How do you see the party assets problems for the KMT and for Taiwan in general?
Well, before we move into this sensitive issue of party asset, I think there are many other insensitive issues. That if you really couldn't sit down and talk insensitive issue, of course, there's no way they can mention anything sensitive issue like a party asset. So let's just start with insensitive.
That's right.
Let's just start with a government budget. Someday, KMT want to go back, come back to power, right? They always wanted to come back to power, which is democracy, how democracy works. If you stopped the government budget for 6 months, think about that. If one day KMT returned to power, you think the other opposition party, DPP, will make your life easy? I don't think so. So I think we have to be mature. That is what I say, mature way. And using the words in debate, using the posture manner. That's what I have civilized. It's very important. You start with a small thing. For example, one other thing I personally feel very strongly about it is that why not the government, why not the television broadcasting have a long hour of broadcasting of the parliament debate, parliament airwise.
Just like C-SPAN, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And they always have the camera focus on the government officials. That's fine, but it's not fair. The parliamentarian they were just 1 or 2 people and they doing the show. That's not fair. Okay, that has to be done. Okay, let's move to the party asset.
Yeah.
Very sensitive. I think the last 7 years, when after DPP become in power, I want to say is the KMT lost power and DPP control the state. They both parties are pretty guilty. Well, on one hand, KMT was not sincere to say, okay, I want to change. That when I still recall the president, former president of Czechoslovakia, Havel, he said that we need the light off for a while after the regime changes. Light off means what? You let the former authoritarian regime to change face, right? To change your costume, to change your gesture, and to change your mind. And then let the new government to act like government. And I think in the last 7 years, I think DPP took too lightly to manage the government. And I think KMT has never been serious about how you adjust his role as opposition. And party asset is one of the worst scenario on both sides didn't take seriously to handle. So I think the DPP had not demonstrated strong determination to do in day one.
Yeah, but the thing is, for some people, they wonder, why is the party asset an issue in Taiwan's democracy?
Well, the transitional justice, the term called transitional justice actually means what? During the democratic transition, there are many injustices had to be clarified. So party asset is one of the injustice because under authoritarian rule, that the money is accumulated by improper way or unlawful way from the private citizen or from the government. So I think that's one of the issues. Once you become democracy is not, okay, now you have a new president, that's it. We have new presidents. We have a new prime minister, but we do not have a new government. We do not have the new governance. We do not have the new rule of a democratic governance. And party asset, if party asset is one day is still there, I don't think there's a justice is fulfilled. One of them.
In addition to party assets, there are also discussions about reform of the so-called judicial system in Taiwan. Do you think there are problems in the judicial system, especially as a result of legacies of the good old days, the old bad old days?
Well, I don't want to come into politicize it. I think they think about this just analogy. A system, any system, bureaucratic system, civil servant, judiciary, police, under the authoritarian regime for decades, and now in 7 years. Think about 7 years can really change the 60-some years rule. It's difficult. So just think about that analogy. And also, if the DPP has not demonstrated strong will to change the judicial system into a more independent, real independent, and then the judicial system were biased. Now we'll talk about the check balance. I think what we need is a lack of check balance. Now, I'm glad that our prosecution system is quite independent. But what is lacking? That's not enough. You know, if a very independent prosecutor can be a Rambo. But that's not what we want. We don't want a prosecutor dash Rambo. We want a fair. So what to be fair to make the law, the judicial system, court. We need a fair judge. So we need an independent prosecutor, and we also need a fair court. And we see only half of it. Now it comes to the so many cases in front of us. Even presidential candidate or the current president all face that problem. So we only see the performance of a prosecutor. Prosecutor is to prosecute. But court is to decide what is guilty or what is not guilty. So I think it really takes a public education. Again, we need a civil society to demand we want a fair judicial system. We don't want a Rambo.
But as you say that it's very important to change the face, change the constitution, but the key is to change the mentality, change the mind.
Change the mind.
You know, it's been 20 years. Do you think that people in Taiwan, change their mentalities and begin to live, freely in this kind of democratic system?
Not quite. You see, 20 years is democratization process, 20 years. If you take 1987 as a starting point. But again, the regime change is the indicator, the sole indicator of democratic consolidation. So 1987 is just to only mark the beginning of the democratic transition. So transition means what? Zigzag. But 2000, so we are talking not 20 years, we're talking about 7 years.
That's right.
So I think it is still immature. We are very immature or infantile, but that cannot be an excuse. You have to grow up. A child may be cute, but can be naughty. You have to grow up to be responsible. I think it's still, we need time, but I think you need all forces, healthy forces, to forge together to demand a quality democracy. So we have procedural democracy. We don't have quality democracy yet. Mindset, I think the most of a lot of people, even intellectuals, scholars, professors, still have the garrison commander in their head. So here comes another issue I want to stress, is the public trust. You see, distrust certainly was a very important ingredient to make democracy work, right? To push for democracy, because you don't trust authoritarianism, therefore you want to change it. But comes to, you have a democracy. If you continue this kind of distrust, mistrust, you will never have. So we need a certain amount of a trust. And I must say, we don't have enough.
Why is that? Because, people say that in the past 7 years or 20 years, people began to have trust in each other. Different parties do not have trust on the others and so on. How do we come about to this point?
I think we have an individual trust, but we don't have a public trust. We need a trust on institutions. We need a trust. How you come out with trust, you need a check balance. if we have a proper check balance, then you say, oh, the government is right, can be right. I'm willing to give my trust to the government, to the LY, to the court. But you need a good examples to see it. And in the last 7 years, we do not have enough examples. So therefore, we still distrust, parties distrust each other. Government, the minister might not trust
civil servants.
They think it's old structure. The civil servants think you might not trust the minister. You come and you don't know much about it. You want me to take all response? I don't want to do it. And I might stay longer than you. You are. So I think you need a social reform, another social reform. So I would say what is important is to rebuild the trust. We can appreciate the distrust, mistrust in the past, but we need a proper, adequate, not too much. If too much trust, that become authoritarianism.
That's right.
You know. So that is I think is a very important task ahead of us.
Apparently, the society in Taiwan is still in transition and in transformation. So look to the future. What do you think are the major challenges for Taiwan society, in addition to political aspects?
Well, political aspect is crucial. I mean, trust relate to social, cultural, certainly we need. And I think the look ahead, we have to make democracy work, and good one, civilized one. And we probably also need to know our role in the world. I think we need to rebuild, or maybe to build. We never had a proper international role. And I think we have to work very hard to let the world, besides commercial world, besides economic and business, that Taiwan is going to be responsible in the world. Look at that. We are the number 14 or 16 economy trade partner. There's no reason that world would not allow us to contribute responsible role. I think that we should take this as our role. And domestic reform, we had to continue. Reform never ends. So I think we have to build for example, local government. The local governance is one very weak one. It's again a legacy of authoritarian centralization. Now you let the local government doesn't know how to do. So I think that local government reform is another thing. And if we want to take a look to bring the island identity back to our mind, we are always under the shadow of a continent, and Taiwan is an island environment. So here comes sustainable development. That is one thing. Regardless how your political future, this island has to be here environmentally, sustainably. I think environment, you cannot ruin our river, you cannot ruin our mountain, we cannot ruin our air. So that is one thing beyond politics. And that one thing, why not two parties sit down to talk about environment?
That's right. But as we know, it's this issue also intertwined with the partisan issues and so on, right? But in general, do you think that in this globalized world, Taiwan is ready for this global governance? Very briefly.
The globalizing will not wait for us. We have to catch. We have to catch the globalization. I think we are very globalized economically, and when people argue that we are in a peripheralization, I don't think so. We've never been polarized, but the mindset is a mindset. We are not in the global. So we have to shift our mindset, but not our economy. Our economy is 100% globalized. But our mindset, our culture has to go further to global. Means what? Don't let cross-trade relation dictate, dominate our mindset.
Thank you very much, Professor Shaw, for your very insightful comments. Thanks for coming to the program. Thank you.
Good to be here.
And thank you for watching Taiwan Outlook, and see you next week.